As the Dolby Theater lights dimmed, the American Idol audience fell silent like a velvet curtain. The 2025 season semi-finals were eagerly awaited. Katy Perry, Luke Bryan, and Lionel Richie leaned forward, curious and expecting. Ryan Seacrest announced, "Next up, a voice that's been turning heads all season, Che Johnson." The crowd cheered the 24-year-old New Orleans native, whose soulful grit and understated charisma had won over fans. Che entered the spotlight, silhouetted against the brilliant stage. He wore a cut black suit with the jacket unzipped to reveal a crisp white shirt, emulating classic showman. Boyish charm and old soul intensity were framed by his swept-back locks. As Che held the microphone stand, the musicians behind him hummed with anticipation. His song choice was James Brown's "It's a Man's World," a risky choice that could succeed or fail. A steady, heartbeat-like organ chord started the song. Che closed his eyes and tilted his head, as if absorbing the music. Something special was about to happen, so the audience leaned in. Then he sung, "This is a man's world." Each phrase in his raw, molten voice was full of grief and force beyond his age. There was a confession and story behind every rasp and trembling in the song. The camera zoomed in on his frowned brow and mic-tightened hand. As Che reached, "But it wouldn't be nothing," his voice rose steadily and sharply. The band swelled, strings flying, percussion pulsing, and the stage lights became deep amber, showering him in a glorious radiance. The audience was captivated, swaying and holding neighbors' hands. A woman in the front row wiped her tears, while his voice, a smoky mix of Otis Redding's soul and Donny Hathaway's tenderness, was undoubtedly remarkable. Che's performance was perhaps more so. The song's paradox, a man's world without love, women, or vulnerability, was mirrored by him. Che sung with the weight of someone who had seen his father and uncles build worlds only to see them fall when love left. His single mother, who worked 2 jobs, saw her son open his soul with a proud smile that trembled. At the bridge, Che risked. His voice was raw and open as he left the microphone stand. "He is lost in the wilderness." When he returned to the mic, his voice was stronger than before. Out of control, the audience roared. Lionel Richie shook his head in surprise and whispered to Katy, who nodded vigorously, eyes wide. Stage became Che's canvas. His slow, determined steps matched the song's pace. He motioned forth while singing, "Man made the cars, man made the trains," and somewhat slumped on, "But it wouldn't be nothing," in a subtle allusion to the song's sentiment. The lighting crew strobed reds and blues that surged with the music, making the stage alive. By the last chorus, Che was a force, not a contestant. The emotional crack in his voice on "Without a Woman or a Girl" revealed his humanity rather than a defect. He kneeled, head down, while the band played a long, painful note. The audience rose in applause and yells. In a hushed, almost whispered tone, Che said, "This is a man's world." After the music stopped, the auditorium was hushed for a hallowed moment before exploding. The judges stood. Katy Perry clapped furiously, mascara streaming. "Che, you didn't just sing that song. You lived it," she said. "That was a moment we'll remember for years." The usually laid-back Luke Bryan was noticeably moved. He shook his head. "Man, you took us to church." Elder statesman Lionel Richie inhaled. "That was soul, son. Unfiltered soul. You shared your gift with the world." Backstage, Che's mother ran to embrace him, crying into his shoulder. The competitive contestants surrounded him with embraces and high fives. Within minutes, number Che Idol trended internationally, with millions of views of his performance. Fans shared their chills, tears, and how Che made them feel supported. Later, Che sat alone in his dressing room, still in his suit, adrenaline dissipating. He remembered his grandmother, who sang gospel in a modest Louisiana church and taught him to sing from the heart. His dive bar performances made him question if he'd ever get a shot. This was his moment, not just American Idol. His goal was to continue the story of those who had made and lost worlds, loved, battled, and survived. Che's rendition of It's a Man's World was a seismic event that showed music's power to transcend, heal, and unify. As the American Idol 2025 season progressed, it was evident that Che Johnson had made history as a storyteller with a powerful voice.